Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. Yesterday was the ship's 80th commissioning anniversary, and as part of the celebrations, we got part of the ship's silver back from the governor's mansion in Drumthwacket. If you've been watching our videos for a while, you've seen we've talked about the silver a couple of times. If not, there's a link in the description below to some of the history of the ship's silver and why some of it's on the battleship and some of it's in the governor's mansion. So, for the celebrations, during which time we had one of the ship's former commanding officers on board, Vice Admiral Doug Katz, came up from Annapolis. He's one of only 2 surviving commanding officers, and the only one who lives within driving distance. So he came back, and this is where the silver was stored when he was on board. So he was thrilled. The last several times he came on, the cabinet was only partially filled. So he was thrilled to see some of these centerpieces again. He came up with his lovely wife, Sharon, who had planned a number of parties and special events on board for dignitaries, and of course the silver had played a part in it. She told a really funny story about she had worked with the ship's stewards in planning this party where they were going to bring out the food 2 plates at a time and set them down simultaneously. And they practiced for a week, and the first steward, and she said the gentleman's name and I couldn't remember it, comes out to the head of the table where she and whichever foreign dignitary it was they were entertaining at the time, it might have been somebody important like the CNO or something like that, and sets down the plate in front of her, looks at her, and goes, "Shit." And so apparently that was well received by the audience. Everybody laughed. But the ship's silver was used for formal functions on the ship, and it was great for our commanding officer and his wife to see it back in place. Anyway, we just wanted to show off the new pieces here. We've previously done an unboxing video of the ship's punch bowl when we got it, and we share custody of this with the governor's mansion. About half of the time it's on board the ship, about half of the time it's there. Whereas the waiter's tray here and the large tureen and its base at the bottom almost permanently centerpieces at the governor's mansion in Drumthwacket for when he hosts special events. So it seems like the distinction between the half of the silver that the museum got and the half of the silver that the governor's mansion got is based on which pieces were built for Battleship 16. $10,000 was spent somewhere in the 1904 to 1906 time frame when BB-16, the original USS New Jersey, was being built to make the pieces for that ship's silver. And it seems like they made things like this waiter's tray here, the large tureen, which has figures of liberty and prosperity on it. And these large centerpieces, some candelabras, and the majority of the silver was made for about $10,000 in 1906 money for BB-16. When the new New Jersey was built in the early 1940s, the state of New Jersey, again, paid another $10,000 to make some additional pieces. And things like the plates and the goblets were all, these were all made at that time for the Battleship New Jersey, the World War II era battleship, not the pre-Dreadnought battleship. And so it seems like the museum got most of the pieces that were made specifically for our ship, and the governor's mansion kept the large centerpieces that were made for the original battleship. So check this out. The waiter's tray actually has a depiction of BB-16 as built on it. So, in case you were wondering which battleship this one was built for, and this is one of the pieces that is kept at the governor's mansion normally, and they were gracious enough to loan it to us, and they did not loan this piece to us back in 2018 for the ship's 75th anniversary, which is often when they'll give us a couple of the centerpieces to put in our cabinet, like they did this year. So that is a really impressive engraving here of the original battleship, how she looked when she was first built. Not how she looked during World War II, though. So likewise, the tureen down here, which says, presented to United States Battleship New Jersey by the state of New Jersey. And just in case you don't believe me without citations, there I am citing my sources. The problem is, or maybe the benefit is, it doesn't say specifically which Battleship New Jersey. BB-16 was the first United States warship to be named after the Garden State. BB-62, of course, is the second. We are now awaiting the commissioning of a third USS New Jersey, the Virginia-class attack submarine SSN 796, which we recently received information will be commissioned next spring. And they will be able to take pieces of silver if they want them. There's not much room for storage on a submarine. So that it will be up to the captain and the crew at the time that that ship is commissioned. One thing that's cool about the tureen down here is it comes in two separate pieces because it's made out of silver. It's too heavy to move around. But the base is very solid, even on a rocking ship like those old tubs that the pre-dreadnoughts were. It's not going to go anywhere. So that is a sizable bowl here. It's probably about 15 or 20 pounds. And let me tell you, polishing this with a Q-tip to get in all the little crevices that were put into this looked very difficult. I didn't do it myself, but it seemed like it took a long time. So, while these pieces are going back to the governor's mansion, and you'd have to get a tour of Drumthwacket to see them, the rest of the pieces in the set will remain with the battleship and be on display every day if you want to come and see the Tiffany silver set for the battleship, or at least half of the remaining set. But remember to check out the videos below for more information if you haven't been a long-time viewer seeing this. Otherwise, we appreciate the Drumthwacket Foundation for agreeing to loan this to us for the week of our commissioning, and we hope to keep a good working relationship with them in the future. Do you have any silver at home? Do you have a nice fancy cabinet like this? My grandmother did, but we don't keep anything like this in my house. My fancy silverware that I bring out when friends come to visit are the old McDonald's Hercules plates. Almost got a complete set. What's your fancy set? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State and also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to continue donating to support the museum. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find about us and our channel. Thanks for watching.